So the temperature is definitely heating up all around the country. And what's also heating up are the new designs and new models that Off-Grid is coming out in their folders and fixed blades. Really, really cool stuff. I am Joe Steele. This is the Steel Mindset. So next up on this video, we're going to be finally talking about this Stinger extra large, a new extra large version of the Stinger folder, which has been very popular for Off-Grid. We're going to talk about the build quality, we're going to talk about how it feels, and of course how it works. And guys, if you like this content, please don't forget to put a like into this video. It really helps out the algorithm. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I need your help to really get that elusive milestone of 10,000 subs. And of course, don't forget about my memberships that actually start at 99 cents. It'll really help for me to get this content to you and also grow the channel and get more samples that you would love to see. So now let's get into it. So it is a folder, so a lot of you are asking, how does it carry? Now listen, it's an extra large folder. There's no doubt about it. You know it's in your pocket. It's for those people who like big hardware, big knives, and like to know that the knife is in your hand and in your pocket at all times. It's got a big blade, it's got a really comfortable handle, and it's pretty much that classic overbuilt style that Off-Grid gives you. Overbuilt with a purpose, overbuilt that works and fits well. It does ride in the pocket pretty well, low enough to the point where I can even get two of them in my pocket at the same time and still be pretty comfortable. So it's having a big knife, but also being able to carry it in your pocket pretty comfortably and having a big knife, a good solid folder whenever you want. So carry wise, it's a big knife without a doubt, but it carries pretty well in the pocket, pretty comfortable. And I had actually, as you can see here, no problem kind of carrying both around. Now, fast forwarding to the end of the video after all the cutting, the edge held up well, but the butter smooth deployment, which is pretty much a hallmark with a lot of these premium folders from Off-Grid, really good ceramic ball bearings, excellent deployment. Everything is still rock solid with the lockup after all the cutting that I did. It just, it's a pleasure to use them. Off-Grid knives just have such great action to them, and that's pretty much a constant that I like in all their knives. All right, so let's talk about some details about the Stinger XL. So the original Stinger XL was a spear point blade shape, and it actually quickly became one of their best-selling XL knives. So I guess by popular demand, they started offering the same XL build of the original with a drop point blade and a full flat grind, which makes a superb slicer and cutter. They made this Off-Grid knife Stinger XL for those that really demand a very large, high-performance EDC knife that can handle pretty much anything: camping, tactical use, everyday cutting tasks, everything with ease. They're featuring a really excellent 154 cm blade seal, which is one of my favorites. Razor sharp. I mean, you can see how sharp this thing is out of the box. I mean, it's deadly sharp. The full flat grind delivers a really exceptional edge retention, great toughness, great corrosion resistance with their blackout or PVD coating, which is one of the best as far as I'm concerned in the industry in terms of basically protecting the knife, keeping corrosion resistance, and really resisting any scratches on the blade even after hard use. It pretty much makes it a workhorse in any environment. The G10 handle scale offers a really secure ergonomic grip, ensuring really good comfort, control in any condition that I was using it in. Like I said, the ceramic ball bearings, silky smooth deployment, great drop shut closure. It's got a generally deep carry that also allows for left or right carry. I mean, honestly, whether you're basically working on the field, work, on duty, handling everyday tasks, I think the Stinger XL is really a powerhouse build to perform in anything that you need to use it with. Oh, and did I mention in this video how awesome Carrie is, the owner of Off-Grid? He's got great designs, great overall dude, man. Good knife dude and good guy, that guy Carrie. That's probably the most important part of all my reviews, is just showing you or talking about how the knife worked for me. The knife looks great, it carries great, it's got a good simplistic but solid design, but how does it work and how does it hold up to hard use? Now, I heard some confusion or misconception as far as the OEMs that Off-Grid uses. Taiwan or Taiwanese made folders. Most of their folders are Taiwanese made. Excellent fit and finish. Aside from Bestech making a couple of their elite models like the Scorpion, Taiwan makes their fixed blades and a lot of their folders, and the fit and finish on this is excellent. What I like about this knife is what I like about most folders. The comfort of the grip of the handle makes for using the great blade that they give you easy to use. You gotta have a good handle. Great purchase, great many ways that you can hold this knife. The reverse grip is excellent because of how they create the pommel, so you can use it in a reverse grip and never feel like your hand is going to be slipping out when you're using it in terms of for penetration. Very, very, very comfortable handle no matter how you want to hold it. You could even take a very tight finger grip on the blade. Because you have all that width on the blade, you can do some finer work. So there's many different ways, a multitude of ways that you can hold this knife, be comfortable with it, be comfortable using it. And that is one of my favorite things about a lot of their big folders, is the fact that it's a pleasure to use them and you feel secure with them in your hand. Okay, the first thing we got to test out is balance. How the knife falls and the distribution of weight between the blade and the handle can make for a very good balanced knife, or a knife that basically just doesn't feel right in the hand. You can see how this thing falls on a Donnie B All Day drop test, 4-foot drop test, perfectly straight. You don't find that on many folding knives. That basically the proportion and the weight distribution of this blade and this handle is literally just about perfect. It falls completely straight on that 4-foot drop. And even if I'm basically hitting it down on a hard downward throw, liner lock is holding up. It looks solid. It lands solid. No vibrations that's causing the liner lock to fail. It's just a very well constructed, very well balanced knife, and that's what you want. You can see what a great apex of a point this thing has. It almost looks like a spear point, even though it's labeled as a drop point. But you can see the penetration is great. Now what I'm doing here is, I know it's going to penetrate the tire. I want to just see how much it can penetrate. Again, it's not a Hulk smash. I'm not going crazy slamming this down. It's a very light tap, nothing crazy, but also just to see how comfortable it is, if there's any slippage or any hot spots from doing this, and absolutely nothing. And you can see how this rolled up, like a tightly rolled up piece of carpet that I just kind of tried to simulate like a penetration type of test, penetrates well. I mean, it's just, the point is good. It's got a great point, got a great apex to it. And if you need a knife for penetration that you can keep it comfortably, like I said, with that ramp on the pommel, you know that your hand is not going to slip onto the blade because of the way it's designed and the amount of purchase you have on the handle. So for penetration wise, this is an excellent knife, being in an XL size. And testing out the liner lock, no failing whatsoever throughout all the testing on this video. Point is still great too. The sharpness, holy crap, the sharpness of this knife. Really incredibly sharp out of the box. The CPM, this 154 CPM really came incredibly sharp. I get a lot of knives from off-grid and they're all pretty much like hair popping, hair slicing sharp. What am I doing here? I'm just having fun, just kind of slicing to the bottle. I also want to see, by cutting it, showing the slices there, it's not a big knife obviously, but by really saturating the handle, if at any point the handle felt slick or sliding out of my hand, and it did not. Now, consistency is key. I try to be consistent with the type of cutting materials that I use on all my knife reviews to see what excels and what does well, what does poorly. Now, you can see I'm doing some push cuts here, some rubber hosing. It just, very little effort, really. Whatever I threw at it, as long as it can be cut, very little effort, push cuts, pull cuts, any type of cutting, it's a very good slicing, cutting knife. It was a pleasure to cut with. It cut things with just very little resistance, and the way they advertise it as far as being a really good cutting knife, and that's what it is. I mean, this kind of drop point blade with this flat finish, they just made for a very slicey knife. Just you can see whatever I'm cutting with it, there's not much effort I'm putting into it. I really kind of just put the edge to the material, push a little bit, and I cut, and it just cuts. And I'm always testing and always looking at the blade to see if there's any deformations or anything like that. No scratches on the finish, cutting through some fire hose over here. It's amazing, and amazing how good of a slicer of a knife it is. And that's what you need. That's what you want in an everyday carry type scenario of a knife that you're going to use for cutting various different types of materials in different scenarios like camping or tactical or whatever. This is kind of the paracord rope. Now, it kind of pretty much cut it at the first shot. I actually didn't think it cut, and I'm going in. I think it just didn't cut one, but it cut everything really well. It's surprising to me how very little effort I put into pushing into the cuts, and how well it kind of just sliced through things without me really knowing that it actually cut it. So cutting, it just did really well. Finish is still excellent, edge is still pretty sharp, but the ultimate test is going through some really tough sandblast hose. Now, Scab and I tout and talk about the fact of cutting through the steel reinforced sandblast hose is extremely tough. It's a very, very tough material to cut through. Now, I say that as it's kind of cutting through it almost like butter, but you can see how little resistance it's having cutting through the sandblast hose, and it's actually making me look bad by saying it's tough material because it's not having any trouble with it. So is it really that tough? Yeah, I mean, look at my future videos, look at Scab's videos. There's certain knives that has a really tough time getting through that first barrier to rubber, let alone going through the steel belted stuff and really cutting through it as it's doing here. It just very little resistance, very little effort I had to put in. Cut right through it. You can see the push cuts I'm putting through that as well. Just yeah, very, very impressed at the cutting and slicing ability of this knife, going through some hard materials like the sandblast hose and not having a problem whatsoever. And believe me, that is impressive compared to what a problem other knives have going through this material. The edges do get dulled after cutting through this material, so when we're going to be cutting through the wood and slicing later, keep that in mind when we're doing some more cutting. Now, here's the part of the video that drives some people crazy, seeing you baton with a folder, but I think a lot can appreciate. Now, are you going to baton with your folder? No, that's not normally what you would do with a folder. That's a fixed blade thing, if even a fixed blade for the most part. I am testing the locking mechanism. Now, I had batoned with other folders from Off-Grid. Many did great, some failed, and this is just kind of just to show you how rigid and tight the lockup is on this knife. Now, am I basically slamming this thing like crazy? No, light taps on light pieces of wood, no wiggle, no rattle, no vibrations, nothing. The lock didn't disengage. There's no bends or rolls or anything like that. It batoned just fine, and just to show you, it was a great lockup. Now, it really was a phenomenally gorgeous day, so I wanted to use this beautiful beach setting to kind of finish up the rest of my review and testing this knife. And here, basically, what are we doing? We're testing out a camping scenario, my usual testing where I kind of debark a tree, use some fine work, and see how it slices. And you can tell as soon as I put this thing in my hand, and again, this is after cutting a lot of the tough materials that I cut with already, along with kind of carrying this thing around for a good week and a half since I got it, doing like some minor, like everyday cutting tasks and things like that. You can see immediately how this thing is slicing and cutting and debarking. Listen, my intention is never to approach myself as a salesman. If anything at all, I'm really just trying to give you my experience, my personal experience of interacting with knife, working with it, how it feels to me. And I just got to tell you, this type of knife is my kind of folder. I like to have a folder with a beefy type of blade like this, something that if you want to go out and have a folding knife tucked away in your pocket and have something that's versatile and have the ability of like a fixed blade without carrying a fixed blade, situations where you need to work with a harder knife, this is just a perfect knife for you. I like a wide blade, I like a 4-inch blade, I like a lot of purchase in the handle, I like something that's tough that I know is going to handle everything I throw at it for the most part. I mean, and this really does act and perform like a fixed blade would. I mean, if you see everything that I've done with this knife, the entire video, it does act like a fixed blade, and that's what I really love about this knife, the fact how tough it is, how good the lockup is, the liner lock, everything about it just screams just, you know, fixed blade in your pocket. Off-Grid makes some good fixed blades, but you really can't ignore how good their folders are. Their folders are really well made. I love the designs of them. They're robust, they're built well. I love the steel, the blade coating. They're just really well made. Their folders just have a very simple aesthetic to them. I think they're really attractive as hell. I love the look of them. I love that rough, overbuilt style look. I love the fact that they have great butter smooth deployment, great return, excellent purchase on the handle, great fit and finish, and they just come with some good steel, great heat tempering, and I love the coating. I always talk about the coating because I love the fact that the knife can be used and it doesn't look like it's been used. And pretty much, listen, of all the folders that I've been carrying of late, I've been really enjoying and been choosing to carry off-grid folders of late, and not for any other reason but the fact that I just honestly really do love these knives. So this is the Stinger XL. Looking forward to all of the new designs in fixed blades and folders that they got coming around the corner. And as soon as I get them, guys, I'll get them over to you. Thank you for watching. Joe Steele. And this is the Stinger XL from Off-Grid. Have a great one, everybody. Ciao. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please don't forget to leave a like and a share and subscribe if you haven't already. Much appreciated. And please watch the video coming up next.